Jay here again at the Imaginary Gallery. Welcome. Today's discussion is just about how sociopathy slash psychopathy slash NPD, whatever you want to call it, is represented in the media. You know, we like to watch movies and we like to see an interesting story, and unknowing to me, I did become involved with such a person who had one of these disorders, who I used to show specific movies to and say, hey, I think this stuff is great. I love the bad guy. I love it, but only in the movies, not in real life. Well, little did I know, I would later be cursed with dealing with the very same type of disorder and became a victim of it, but that's a whole different story. The point is, I have three movies in mind to discuss. The first one is, let's pick Serial Mom. John Waters' Serial Mom. Brilliant. A lot of his movies have the same type of theme with the evil people and the nice people and so on, but I just have always been a follower of his since I was like a teen. And Serial Mom, it's a movie. It's a comedy. It's funny. It's Kathleen Turner. It's Ricky Lake. It's everybody else. But the point is that it's a comedy. It's entertaining. But the point is there are several pieces of that movie of which are completely legitimate as far as NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, psychopathy, or whatever you want to call it. The point is, the movie has some very good illustrations of this disorder as seen in real life. For example, Beverly Sutphin, who is the star of the film. For example, when the police come over in the morning and she acts off, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, whatever she does, she acts like a really great, nice person, like extreme, which I've learned in my studies as well, that when you see a person who's extremely any particular way, whether it's extremely nice or extremely mean, usually underneath it all, they're the total opposite. Well, that's what the case is in this movie. She acts like a flowery, great house mother, wife, whatever she is, and she is like, there shouldn't be violence in this world. Look at those birds out there. Oh, listen to them. And she's like portraying herself just like people with this disorder do. They'll come to you and they'll be like the most angelic person you've ever met. And you'll think, wow, this is neat. Well, the point is, it's phony. It's an act. It's a mask. So the movie portrays that effectively, where anybody on the outside that sees her will realize, wow, she's a wonderful mother. She's a great person. She's caring. And then when she watches television in a later scene, she's like, oh, violence is everywhere. Turn that off. Well, the point is, she's the creator of violence. But it's all, like with this disorder, it's all behind the scenes. So you don't see it. You only see what happens afterwards. And of course, she pretends to be innocent. So I think that the movie accurately portrays her and shows how she puts on the mask of a perfect housewife, but then when people aren't looking, she is finding little tiny things, like with Dottie Hinkle. Because Dottie Hinkle stole her parking space, she has decided to torment Dottie and prank call her and say the stuff she says, which you can see on YouTube. The phone call scene, or I'm not sure what they call it, but it's very hilarious. But the point is, she is punishing like these people do. They will punish someone. And a lot of times you don't know that they're going to punish you. Like, they push your boundaries, is what they do. They don't have any boundaries. So they meet you, for example, and they meet you tonight, and you go on a date tonight, and you have fun. Well, fine. Well, the next day they text you, oh, I had a great time last night. I want to see you tomorrow. And you feel like, wow, this person likes me. So you go. Well, they see you 2 days in a row, and then they start, well, I had such a great time with you yesterday and today. I thought tomorrow we could do this, and the next day we could do this. And it's like, stop. Because they don't have boundaries. They think they found whatever they're after, which is usually narcissistic supply, and they think that you're weak enough they're going to get it from you, which, again, they'll never say. They'll just say, I love your eyes. I love your smile. I love that you're funny. And stupid, superficial stuff that you could say about anybody. But anyway, back to the movie in Serial Mom. She does give examples of gaslighting, like when Beverly picks up the Fabergé egg and she smashes it when Rosemary's not looking, and then blames it on Mink Stoll's character, which is Dottie Hinkle, and then quickly rushes the lady out to the flea market so they can take care of additional business and get a new Fabergé egg, of which Tracy Lords wants, but that's a different story. But Beverly also has like a sense of entitlement, like these people do. They think that they have the right to take over matters in their own hands and do things that are considered wrong, but they're done in private. So when questioned, like with Beverly, when somebody asks, "Are you Serial Mom?" she's like, "I don't know anything about, the only thing I know about is Rice Krispies." So she disguises herself and acts like she's just perfectly innocent. Just like when you approach or confront one of these disordered individuals about something they've done that's clearly wrong, they're like, "I didn't do that. Oh, you've made that up. Oh, that's not what happened." And how it shows she has no remorse for anything she does. And she also tries to distract, like when they're watching the TV show showing the information about the teacher that she murdered. She's like, "Oh, turn that off. Oh, look at her hair," to the witness who's a drug user. And she changes the subject, switches things around, which is much like a conversation with this type of person when you're trying to confront something. They just switch the subject, turn it back around to you, or avoid altogether what you're asking about. And it's funny too at the end how John Waters has the thing that Beverly, the little line on the screen that says Beverly did not cooperate with the creation of the film, which is the way it would work in real life. If she really was captured, she wouldn't give any information. She wouldn't admit to what she did, which is exactly how those people are. They feel they're on this earth to destroy, and anyone who gets in their way is gotten rid of. Now, the murder scenes are kind of dramatic. They're kind of dramatic, but anyway, that's all I have to say about that movie. The second one was Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which is a brilliant example of Peyton, where her life is unhinged because she loses her baby and her husband, and then she decides in her mind the woman who reported her husband is to blame. So what does she do? Goes into disguise, puts her mask on, and smiles and helps out and makes herself available and around, and then manipulates her way to be accepted as the nanny so she can get into the place she wants to go, which is, again, just like one of these creatures, I call them. They will act like the nicest person in the world, and you'll take them into your home, and then they take over. And she did, what's her name? Peyton was her name. She tries to destroy the family, does all kinds of little things. And if you watch that movie all the way through, it's kind of like a real life experience for me. I've experienced with people like that act like just innocent angels, and behind the scenes they're wreaking havoc, designed to, of course, hurt everyone around them, so they can get their revenge that they believe they're entitled to. But that's just a good example. And then the third one was American Psycho, and that film, one of the key lines was when it shows Patrick Bateman saying, "I just want to fit in," which is what these people do. They're basically empty, hollow shells that are full of anger, rage, hatred, and that's about it. They have a very limited spectrum of emotions, and then they see regular people that they victimize who actually have real emotions and actually do care about other people, and they take advantage of that. And like Patrick Bateman, he has his girlfriend. He also has a secret girlfriend, and she's also seeing somebody else, and it's like they're all seeing other people privately and not telling anybody about it. But same thing with him, with the sense of entitlement. He does these things behind the scenes so nobody sees it, and of course at the end he does confess. But I think all three of these movies are effective at showing basically this personality disorder put on the screen. The stories are different, but some of the characteristics are the same. And a lot of people always say that, oh, the movies they inaccurately portray all psychopath or sociopath or cluster Bs as a killer, but they're not all killers. But these people in these movies just happen to be killers. But the personality style is what we're looking at, what I look at, and just notice the realism as far as the different characteristics they have.